All right, let's see. We rocking and rolling? There we go. Wonderful. Let's fire it up. Let's go. All right, this is Winning Cures Everything. Today is January the 24th. I'm Gary Seegers, your host. You can follow me on Twitter at GaryWCE. You can follow the show at winningcureseverything.com, at Winning Cures on Twitter, facebook.com/winningcureseverything. Also, subscribe to the show on the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Help us out. Share the show. Tell all your friends about it. We do it every day. Come check it out. Let's fire up. Here's the roundup for today. Here are the topics. Super Bowl 53 deserves an asterisk. That's from the New Orleans Advocate. We'll talk about that and whether or not it actually does. $4.76 billion was bet on Super Bowl 52. That is insane. What's more insane is how much of that was actually legal. We'll dive into that as well. BetOnline has their college football national championship odds for next season, so their future prop. And we'll talk about who's got the best odds and whatnot on that. There is a person with an emotional support pet that is an alligator, and, of course, he's based in Florida. We're going to talk about that. And we got some college basketball picks to get to. So let's go on and jump in. Can't go too long today. The show has to roll on. The New Orleans Advocate says that Super Bowl 53 deserves an asterisk. I do not agree with that whatsoever. A guy just put up 4 billboards in downtown Atlanta saying the Saints were robbed. Stop the whining. There's no sense in this. It was a bad call. They happen all the time. Every bad call, every no call in every game can change the outcome of the game. It happens. Yes, the Saints got robbed, but there's no way of knowing whether or not the Saints would have missed the field goal, if the field goal would have been blocked. You never know. These things happen. It sucks. For Saints players, get back to work, go back and do it again next year. Like, I understand you don't get these opportunities every year unless you're the Patriots. But stop with the whining. Like, it's Thursday. Just stop. It's annoying. There's no asterisk needed here. Those teams, the Patriots and the Rams, fought through, did what they had to do to get to the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a fun matchup. There's no reason why we have to keep listening to this every day, right? The storyline is done. We are done with this. So I'm out on it. The Advocate, stop with this propaganda crap. I know you're playing to your fan base. I understand that your readership enjoys this stuff. No, the Saints are probably not going to enjoy watching this game, but neither is St. Louis. St. Louis has to watch the team that left their city and the team that last beat them in their last Super Bowl. They don't want to watch it. They may be whining, but you're not going to hear about it. Either way, quit with the whining. I'm done with it. Saints, get back there next year. I'll be pulling for you. But come on. You guys, this is the cliche, right? You're better than this. You should be better than this. Period. All right, let's move on. $4.76 billion was bet on Super Bowl 52 last year. Only $158 million of that was actually legal. How insane is that? That's a crazy number. Vegas actually only won like 0.7% of their bets last year. That's how many people were betting on the Eagles against the Patriots. Like, Vegas still came out on top. They've only had 2 Super Bowls since like the 90s that they have actually lost money on. And last year they only won 0.7%. Now, the handle was pretty good because of that. But, yeah, this is a crazy amount of money. Mark Meltzer over at thelines.com has a good article about it. PlayNJ.com, Play New Jersey, expects approximately $100 million to be bet in New Jersey alone on the Super Bowl. They expect $325 million legally in the United States. That is a lot of money, a whole lot of money. And the $325 million, if it does hit that number, is taxable. That's all taxable income. That's stuff that can go to better the schools in this country, because God knows we need them. In Mississippi especially, that stuff is invaluable. So why this isn't being put in every state, I'm still trying to figure out why it's an issue. Of course, Mississippi has sports gambling and doesn't have a lottery. Like, I don't understand politicians sometimes. Things that can help your state, you do them. You get over the moral crap and you work with what you got. You know what country or what direction this country is headed in. Just roll with it. Do the best that you can for your state and make it better. Simple enough, right? And Super Bowl betting jumps into that, I think. Because you hear the numbers. $325 million in the United States alone betting legally on the Super Bowl. That's one game. Imagine year-round on college basketball, NBA, golf, NFL, whatever, right? Like, this is a ton of money that can come in and help states out. I would imagine we're going to be at like 30-some-odd states over the next 5 years. It should be 50. Every state should have sports gambling legalized. It's an easy solution. It's taxable income. It's you want to help the government out. You want to help your situation with the schools, and you want to help funding different things. You want to get the country out of debt. Stuff like this is easy. Legalize marijuana, legalize sports gambling. That doesn't solve all the problems, but it helps a little bit. Like that, there's a market for this stuff. It's going to continue. So why not just play into that? Either way, Mark Meltzer over at thelines.com, great article. Go read it. It's about the money that's wagered on the Super Bowl every year. The numbers are astounding. Absolutely astounding. BetOnline has their college football national championship futures out already. What are the best odds? All right, so let's go through the list just a touch. Clemson plus 225, Alabama plus 275. With those two, if you're going to bet that, just bet a money line every week that they play. Like, don't bother with the spread. Just bet a money line. Just put your money on that every week, and you'll come out better than you did at plus 225 or plus 275. Easy enough, right? And there's going to be some weeks where they play, FCS teams or crap teams, and it's going to be, plus 1,500, plus 2,000, whatever. Just do that. It's going to be easier. That those two teams, with the schedules that they have, probably not losing next year. They're both going to be 13-0 going into the playoff, and then we'll see what happens from there. But at that point, if you don't like how they look at the end of the season, you can just take your money back out. Simple enough, right? Somebody gets hurt, whatever. Easy. Georgia plus 600 is number 3 on this. Ohio State plus 900. Let's talk about those two because people say that Georgia has the best odds. Georgia's schedule next year, they've got Notre Dame, South Carolina, Kentucky, Missouri, and Texas A&M at home. They got Florida neutral site. They got Tennessee, Auburn, Georgia Tech on the road. Now, no, I don't know that Tennessee is going to be back to whatever. But let's see. Steven Sims jumps in on YouTube. He says, love your show, man. Well, I love you guys. I appreciate y'all jumping in here. Like I said, share out the show. Help us out. We're going to do it every day. Every day. And hopefully I can start doing it earlier. Right now, it's in the afternoons, right before college basketball tips off. I'm going to get you your picks. But back to Georgia. They got a tough schedule. They got a really tough schedule. They got Auburn, Texas A&M, and Georgia Tech back to back to back. Who knows what to expect from Georgia Tech this year with Jeff Collins coming in? Who knows what to expect with Auburn next year with Gus Malzahn coming back to calling plays? You got to play Auburn on the road, A&M at home, Georgia Tech on the road. Notre Dame in there in the middle, like you don't know what they're going to be next year. That's a tough schedule for Georgia. I'd be wary of that one. Ohio State plus 900. Ohio State's got Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Penn State at home. They got Nebraska, Northwestern, and Michigan on the road. All tough spots. It's difficult to do. Next one is Oklahoma plus 1,000. You got Michigan plus 1,600, Texas plus 2,000, Florida, Notre Dame, Oregon, and Washington at plus 2,500, LSU and Nebraska at plus 3,300. The two that I thought had the most value, Michigan and Texas. Michigan at plus 1,600. They've got Iowa, Notre Dame, Michigan State, and Ohio State at home. They've got Wisconsin, Penn State, Maryland, Illinois, Indiana on the road. I think they can handle Wisconsin and Penn State on the road because both of them are losing a ton of guys. And then you got Maryland, Illinois, Indiana. And then everybody else is at home. Notre Dame, Michigan State, Ohio State, all at home. Iowa's at home. You don't have to go to Kinnick. Like, Michigan's schedule sets up pretty well for next year. Plus 1,600 could be reasonable for them. Texas, I like their slot as well. We don't know what Jalen Hurts is going to look like in Oklahoma's offense. West Virginia loses Will Grier. The Big 10 is Big 12 is kind of up for grabs next year. Texas at home has got LSU. That's going to be a national profile kind of win, but they've got it at home if they can win the game. Oklahoma State at home, Kansas State at home, Texas Tech, Oklahoma neutral site. On the road, West Virginia, TCU, Iowa State, Baylor. There's nothing that says to me that TCU, Iowa State, and Baylor can beat Texas, right? Texas, yes, they played close games this year. They played down to their level of competition. They might lose a game or two. But if you're looking for the best value, Texas plus 2,000, that's where it is. You put $10 down, you win $200. You put $100 down, you win $2,000. I'll take that all day. All day. So BetOnline has that. I think other places have it as well. I'm sure that Tunica is going to have it also. As always, by the way, the show brought to you by Tunica, Mississippi, the South's premier sports gambling destination. They got 6 incredible sports books. You can go over to tunicatravel.com to get more information on those. Last topic for the day before we get to the picks. Jason Nark, N-A-R-K, at Philly.com wrote about this. There is a guy down in Florida, that's right, in Florida, that has an emotional support alligator. I have never heard of this before in my life. The alligator's name is Wally. He's 5 foot and 60 pounds. The guy's name is Joey Henney. It's Joie. He's 65 years old. He's got a 4-year-old alligator that likes to give hugs and lay on his lap like a dog. The pictures are insane. I mean, it is just remarkable to look at. He's had the alligator since it was 14 months old. It can grow to be 14 to 16 feet and 900 to 1,100 pounds. He doesn't care. He's got an indoor pool for it. This is crazy. You got to go read this. It's over at Philly.com. It's by Jason Nark, N-A-R-K. So go check that out. Now, let's jump into the picks. Let's see. Yeah, did Mark Maidman said, did TCU beat Texas last night? Yes, they did. We got that cover. We got that cover. So let's jump in. I went 4-4 last night on the picks. Not great. Started out 4-1. Lost all 3 of the totals at the end. Houston covered the under 142 that I had. Total was 144. Colorado State, Nevada, 154 was the total there. I had the under, and it hit 156. And then San Jose State and Wyoming, neither one of them could hit the broadside of a barn with anything. So I should have stuck with just 5 picks and rolled with my 4-1 that I had early. But either way, I'm still 66, 48-1 on the season. I've got 7 picks tonight. I've got 5 against the spread. I got 2 totals. Let's go on and jump into this. It's going to be a little chalky, so I'm a little wary of that. But these are the numbers that I like. These are the games I like the most. It's what I have money on. So let's jump in. I got Louisiana Monroe minus 4.5 against Troy. They are at home against Troy. And I'm also taking the over 151.5 in that one. I've got Northern Kentucky minus 9.5. I've got San Francisco minus 19 against Portland. I've got the over 152.5 in St. Mary's against BYU. I think both of these teams are going to score a bunch. I got Southeast Missouri State minus 2, and I got Austin Peay minus 11. So you can always get the picks over at winningcureseverything.com/gambling-picks. You can find it down in the description of the YouTube, or you can find it on winningcureseverything.com up in the navigation bar. It says Gambling Picks. You click on that. It's right there. As always, you can download the show, download the podcast, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Podcast Addict on Android, whatever your favorite podcast app is, we are on it. Other than Spotify, they're a mess to deal with, so we're not on Spotify. We don't deal with that. But every other podcast app, you're good to go on that. So go check that out. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. We love you guys. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate you. As always, winning does, in fact, cure everything. I'm Gary Seegers. We'll see you guys again tomorrow.